I, 28F, love my husband, 32M, but his family has broken me. I don't know how much more I can take. Me, 28F, and my husband, 32M, have a wonderful relationship, but his family who once treated me like their own has turned on me in painful and hurtful ways, especially after a recent health scare. I don't know how much longer I can take this, even though I love him with all my heart. My husband and I have been together for 4 years, married for 2. We met when I was hired to plan his sister's wedding and clicked instantly. We kept things professional during the wedding, but started dating after. From the beginning, our relationship felt like magic. It was deeply respectful, loving, supportive, and safe. It's truly one of the most beautiful parts of my life. Over time, I also grew close to his family. His mom felt like a second mother to me. His younger sisters were like close friends, and his family dynamic, though rooted in hardship, felt strong and warm. The only person who seemed off was his aunt, but I didn't pay her much mind. I genuinely loved being part of their world. Until he proposed. It was everything I dreamed of. A beautiful trip, a perfect moment, pure joy. But something changed when we returned. His mom, who used to be my confidant, suddenly became different. Subtly cold, passive-aggressive. I noticed it, but brushed it off in the glow of my engagement. Looking back, I wish I hadn't. Since then, things have just deteriorated. Every day for over a year now, I've cried. I don't think there's been a single day I haven't. It's gotten so toxic and painful that I've started to wonder if I can even stay in this marriage, not because I don't love my husband, but because of how his family makes me feel. Some background. My husband has 3 sisters, 1 older, married, and 2 younger. His father passed away when he was very young, and they grew up in severe poverty. His mother worked 5 jobs to support them. His maternal uncle helped them immensely, which is likely why his mother and aunt, uncle's wife, are so close. Ever since my husband started working at 23, he's been the sole provider. He pays for his mom, aunt and uncle, and one of his sister's expenses. Today, the family is quite well off, but it's largely due to him. They love him, sure, but often treat him like an ATM. And he never complains. He just gives and gives. I always admired this about him, his loyalty and deep love for his family. But now, I don't know how to feel. Because those same people who claim to love him have hurt me more than I can bear. Just a few instances of their behavior. After our engagement, his mom started making weird comments like, "I'll have to visit more to check up on him now that he has more on his plate." She once told him, "If I don't take care of him, who will?" Me? During wedding planning, my husband joked that he just wanted to elope. His mom said, "A good life partner should encourage sharing love with family, not separating you from them." Even though we had no intention of excluding anyone. On our wedding day, she told me, "I know you'll never be as good as me when it comes to taking care of my son. But I won't expect that from you. I'll try to guide you and hope you'll be happy in this marriage." Then hugged me and added that she hopes her son manages to be happy with me. We delayed our honeymoon for unrelated reasons. When his sister showed up at their house mid-crisis, her marriage was toxic. We were expected to cancel entirely to support her. We weren't even against staying, but the hypocrisy was insane because they kept calling me an outsider and yet suddenly I was expected to step up. I grew close to that same sister during this time. I even helped her get a job on my event planning team and recommended a therapist she seemed to really like. She told me she was happier than she'd felt in years. But suddenly mother-in-law accused me of manipulating her into thinking something was wrong and forcing her to go to therapy. She made her quit the job and stop therapy. Her aunt said I cared more about my business than her emotions. The sister now won't speak to me and makes passive-aggressive comments. Once, I had to travel out of the city for work, and during that time, my husband fell seriously ill. Extremely sick. I was frantic and kept calling and messaging him, but there was no response. My anxiety only grew through the night. Later, I found out that his mother had switched off his phone to avoid any disturbances. While I can understand wanting to let him rest, what hurt me was that she didn't bother to reply to even one of my 60+ messages. She did, however, message his secretary to inform him about my husband's condition, so she clearly had the means to communicate, just not the will to let me, his wife, know. I didn't find out the full extent of his condition until I returned the next day and saw that he had been admitted to the hospital. I broke down in tears the moment I saw him. And in that moment of heartbreak, my mother-in-law decided it was the perfect time to lecture me about balancing work and personal life. I still haven't fully processed that day. One of the younger sisters had a boyfriend who cheated on her with someone he met during one of my events. When the aunt found out, she accused me of knowing and keeping it from them to hurt the sister. Thankfully, no one believed that insanity, not even Mill. But the most painful moment came just 3 weeks ago. I thought I was pregnant. My husband and I took 3 tests. All positive. We were terrified but thrilled. I wanted to wait for my usual OB-GYN, who was out of town for a week, before confirming with a scan or blood test, but I was too excited and told close friends and family including his younger sisters and Mill. For the first time in years, his mother was kind, supportive. Even the aunt congratulated me. I cried that night not just because I was going to be a mom but because I thought I finally had them back. I thought we were finally a family again. My aunt-in-law recommended us a doctor that we went, where we got to know that I wasn't pregnant and it was a false positive. But that's not all. A scan revealed an ovarian cyst and, because of an accident I had a few years ago, which caused a miscarriage, I might face fertility issues in the future. I was crushed. My husband was devastated. We cried and held each other for hours. He protected me fiercely, didn't let anyone visit or bombard me with questions. We needed space to grieve. When his mother found out, she cried not out of empathy, but because her son lied to her when he told her everything was okay. He'd lied for me, because I asked him to give me time and privacy. She screamed at me for robbing her of the joy of being a grandmother. She accused me of denying her a grandchild and then said she wouldn't accept me as her daughter-in-law unless I gave her an heir. I was too emotionally drained to even respond. 3 days ago, my husband and I visited my gynecologist, the one I trust and have been going to for years. She took the time to explain everything to us in detail, the false positives, the cyst, my current fertility concerns. She answered all our questions and was incredibly compassionate. When she was done, I just broke down and cried in her arms for an hour. The entire time, I kept wishing it was my mother-in-law comforting me instead. Because before all of this, before the engagement and the shift in her behavior, that's what she would have done. She would have hugged me and loved me and supported me, and I needed her so much in that moment. I still do, but she's not that person anymore. And I don't know why. We live in the same building, so no contact isn't really possible. My husband has tried everything. He has defended me, banned the older sister from our home, and told off every single person who wronged me. He even screamed at his mom when she said the whole disowning thing, but she fainted. He feels guilty, and now, so do I. He's emotionally exhausted too. He cried with me when I told him I felt like I couldn't survive in this family. He said he wonders if they even truly love him, because they can't support the one thing he chose for himself, me. That killed me, because despite it all, I love him. More than anything, he is my peace, my comfort. No matter how broken I feel, his voice brings me calm. But I am drowning. I wake up sad. I cry every day. I feel like my life is a nightmare I can't escape. I don't want to divorce him. But I don't want to live like this either. I just want his family to love me the way I loved them. I want things to go back to how they were. I want to feel happy again. I want to feel like I matter. Right now I just feel lost. I really need advice. What can I do here? I feel like I've tried everything. I've been patient. I've been kind. I've stood up for myself. My husband has stood up for me. But it's never enough. They keep pushing, they keep hurting me, and I'm starting to break. I don't want to lose my husband. He's the love of my life, but I also don't want to keep living like this. I feel like I'm being slowly erased in a home that should have been mine too. Is there any way to fix this? Is there anything left for me to try? How do I protect myself without destroying the man I love? And if there's no way out, how do I find the strength to walk away from someone who's never hurt me, but whose family won't stop? Please be honest. I don't know how much more of this I can take. Too long did not read. I used to be incredibly close with my husband's family, especially his mom. Since our engagement, his mom, aunt, and sister have turned against me. After a false positive pregnancy test, we found out I have an ovarian cyst and fertility issues. My mother-in-law accused me of robbing her of a grandchild and said she won't accept me anymore. I love my husband, but I'm emotionally exhausted and feel like I'm suffocating in this situation. I'm drowning in sadness and anxiety every day. And what kills me the most is, I used to love his family. I miss what we had. I wish they loved me the way I loved them. But I don't know how to stay or leave. I'll just write it here since I don't know how to update a post or pin a comment. Okay, so it's done. We're moving out, in the same city. We already have an apartment like 20-ish minutes from our current residence, so we're moving there for the time being. It's not that far, but it's a step forward. Also, about the cutting off thing, my husband told me that his father asked him to take care of his mother and sisters, and that's always weighed upon him heavily. So he's not going to withdraw financial support just yet, but will stop interacting with them unnecessarily. My younger sister-in-law is a bit wary about us moving out, but his uncle supports our decision, so I guess that'll work out. Also, he's decided to write a letter to let her and aunt know about this decision instead of verbally telling them, for obvious reasons. My only concern is that he's not able to realize how she's not just a bad mother-in-law but also a bad mother for abusing his emotions for so long. He'll start therapy, so hopefully that will help. I just feel so bad for him. Like even now he's so scared that I'll divorce him or something. Which I won't, since I've realized that would be abandoning him to fend off these people alone, and I won't do that. I have 4 problems now. How do we leave without her noticing? My husband's writing his letter and will give it to his uncle instead of directly handing it to his mother. And I'll be done packing in like a couple hours, but I'm so scared that she'll see us, scream at me, faint and split her head open at the tarmac or something like that. One of my friends mentioned that she might have a heart attack given her hypertension problem. That would be really extreme, and no matter what she's done I don't want her to die or split her head open. So how to soften the blow a bit? If I get pregnant, it's unlikely, and she becomes super nice again, then do I forgive and forget or hold on to the grudge? I think I might let it go at that moment, but I don't want to, since some of you pointed out that she may even pester me after I have kids and I don't want them exposed to that kind of behavior. How do I make my husband realize that he's been taken advantage of and that these are not good people? I myself believed that they are good people and just don't like me, but I was wrong. It was painful to realize, but also important. I have noticed parallels between their behavior towards me and my husband. The only difference is, they try to exclude me from everything and include him in everything. I'm scared that it might really break him because he loves his family so selflessly and endlessly. I don't think some therapy is going to be enough. Do we stop going to any gatherings at all where my mother-in-law and aunt will be present, because knowing them it won't be peaceful and I'm scared that they'll tell people awful things about me. I know it's a bit stupid, but being hated by people you love is taxing enough. I don't think I want the same comments from strangers as well. Also, since my mother-in-law has said that she won't claim me as her dill if I don't give her a grandchild, so I am essentially off the hook for now, right? I think so. Thank you guys for helping. Honestly, these are basic steps we should have taken a long time ago, but it was hard to let go of the idea of the perfect loving family I had initially seen. I wanted to be a part of it so much because I thought before I came into the picture it truly was a happy and healthy family. I've realized that is not true, at least not for my husband. I also want to acknowledge the gut-wrenching position my husband is in. I know it's incredibly hard for him, but I'll make sure to let him know how much I love him and that he's worth more than just the bills he pays. He's a kind and amazing human who's a very integral part of me, and I am so grateful for him. I am also weirdly excited now. Like I'm smiling while writing this and hopping around our room with clothes in my hand. Lol, but hopefully we can have the life we envisioned for ourselves when he proposed to me. Thanks again, I needed the push. White heart. Move. Cut them off physically and financially. Therapy for both you and husband, individual and couples, to work through all of this. At this point it doesn't really matter why they've turned on you, but this is only going to get worse when you bring children into the equation. You can't reason with unreasonable people. The playing field will never be even. Stop playing. Your husband has to have a straight-up firm conversation with his mother, telling her that if she does not start respecting you immediately that he is done with them, period. Do you have any friends, family to provide you with trusted relationships? You have a husband problem. If he won't walk away with you, then he is hurting you. You seem to want some advice that will change your in-laws' behavior. That doesn't exist. They're going to be like this for their entire lives and you'll have to deal with it. So either accept it, cut them off as a couple, or you leave because your husband refused to put you above his insane family. So your mother-in-law is cloying and irrational. Welcome to the club, as this describes a lot of people's in-laws. But what makes the difference in one's ability to cope is how well your partner runs interference and protects you from the situation. If your husband was serious about keeping you away from all of this, you'd have moved out of this building a long time ago. His mom's going to resent you for taking away her son and her meal ticket whether you live too close to her or not. So you may as well put some distance between her and yourselves. The less you have to see her, the fewer opportunities she'll have to be obnoxious to you. 1. Move. You should not live in the same building as his family. 2. Your husband needs to specifically address the grandchild thing with his mother. That is inexcusable. 3. He may need to give them an ultimatum that they either are kind to his wife, the person he chose, or he will cut them off financially and in any other way he chooses. 4. Get therapy for yourself. From my own life experience, I am guessing you may have attached yourself to his family a little too much from lack of your own. I did the same. You need to learn to speak up for yourself without remorse or guilt. You should never, ever allow anyone to make you cry every day. Never. The fact that they have this affect on you is something you need to undo with a professional and never allow again. I, 29M, found out my wife, 29F, is planning to divorce me. Any advice? Hey everyone, I just found out my wife is planning to divorce me as soon as she gets a job, and honestly, I've never felt more betrayed in my life. A bit of background. We've been together since high school, yeah, high school sweethearts, and we've been married for 7 years with a 5-year-old. Things have been pretty good, but like any couple, we've had our issues. The biggest problem is her temper. What starts as a little argument often blows up, and she ends up threatening divorce, saying she's suicidal, or just shutting down completely. We've been seeing therapists individually, and it's helped, but I never saw this coming. After a recent fight, she was kind of Mia for a while, again, not unusual, but this time it dragged on longer than normal. Today, I made the mistake of looking through her ChatGPT history. I know, not the best move, and that's when I found a bunch of her notes after our fights, where she said stuff like, "I can't divorce him now, not before I get a job." And it's not just one message, it's been going on like this for 4 months. For the last 4-5 months, she's been emotionally and physically distant. I thought maybe she just needed some space, or she was processing something. Turns out, she's been planning this whole thing for a while now. The part that stings the most is that she wrote, "I know he'll try to manipulate me with jokes and trying to fix things." So apparently, me trying to break the ice, de-escalate things, and just be there for her is manipulation in her eyes. After everything we've been through together, this is how she sees me now. And it's clear she's been pulling away for months, but I couldn't see it. I'm completely lost right now. I don't know if I should confront her about it or just wait for her to drop the bomb when she's ready. Any advice? Lawyer up. Don't you see how this does not add up at all? Things have been pretty good, but like any couple, we've had our issues. The biggest problem is her temper. What starts as a little argument often blows up, and she ends up threatening divorce, saying she's suicidal, or just shutting down completely. Why do you think that when she blows up during arguments, talks about divorce and even suicide, that things are pretty good? Did it occur to you that maybe the issue isn't that the blows up and her temper, but that for her all things are not good? If the relationship can't be saved, and it sounds like it can't, then your best option is an amicable divorce. Work together like adults and figure out how to get this split done fairly, kindly, respectfully, and in a way that puts your kids' needs first. This is going to be super hard. But it's 100x better than a bitter shitfight where you only communicate through lawyers. I would tell her you know she's planning to leave, and are willing to work on the relationship or work on the divorce. If divorce is happening, it's in your interest to help her get a job and make that transition to work successful. Nobody wins, especially the kids, if you are both out to fuck each other over. So the biggest problem is her temper and not the content of the arguments that led to her threatening divorce? Dude, it seems like you are one of those husbands who hears nothing but wind and crickets and other background noise when their wife has a complaint but gets blindsided by a divorce. What concerns me is, this is her ChatGPT history. Does she not have any friends or family that she is close to? Like you said, she always mentions about being suicidal. Was that to just manipulate you or real? Divorce her first? Not sure what you're looking for. It sounds like she doesn't want to be with you. I think my boyfriend, 25 meters, just abused me, 24F. I just came back from a 5-day-long vacation with my boyfriend, 25M, and my 3 girlfriends, 25F, 23F, 24F. We were celebrating my BF and friend's birthday. Before we went on the trip, I spoke to my boyfriend about not getting into any arguments. I was referring to verbal arguments because he has never been physically abusive. 2 nights ago on the vacation, we both got drunk. I don't remember what made him upset, but I decided to leave the room and go downstairs since he was being mean to me. Although he had my phone. I asked him to give me my phone and he refused, so when I decided to leave without my phone, he took out the keycard, making the room pitch black. He pulled me away from the door so I couldn't leave, and I pushed him back to get away from him. He pushed me again and I pushed him even harder. In one push I fell to the ground and he began to bite me so hard that I screamed and cried. He lifted me up off the floor and onto the couch and bit me again on my cheek extremely hard. I didn't know what to do, so I decided to throw up on myself so I'd have a reason to walk to the bathroom to clean up. As I walked to the bathroom, my friends randomly knocked on the door right after this happened. And I opened and I started crying hard and screaming at the top of my lungs. They helped me shower and take off my bathing suit. They got me my stuff and let me sleep in their room. Later that night we got worried that he would try to harm himself, so we followed his location and found him in the gym. My friends tried to ask him what was wrong, why he did that. He kept saying he was wrong in doing so and he is sorry. The next day he stayed in his room and I visited him twice, and he was drinking all of the liquor in the room and crying really hard. I forced him to his sisters, 31F, and 30F, they still live with him at home. I wanted him to tell them what he did to me. I didn't want him to go home and not have a support system to get him help. I felt like he feels I was trying to get everyone against him, and maybe I was subconsciously. That day in the resort, my friend showed me a golf-sized bruise on my arm with teeth marks. One person asked me if that was a bite mark. I brushed them off and told them I had a wild night in a jokeful way. My face didn't bruise, but where he bit me hurts a lot. My friends asked me to leave him. They said they had no reason to come upstairs, but they just wondered what I was doing. They didn't even know the room number. They believe God asked them to check on me because they weren't even ready to go to dinner yet. They just had a feeling. I'm so ashamed, I don't know if I could leave him. He seemed so apologetic the next day. Can you all please help me with advice? Do you think if someone hits you once, they will do it again? He bit you so hard your instincts said to vomit on yourself just to get away. If that doesn't tell you to leave IDK, what will? Before the trip you spoke to him about no arguments. That is a red flag in itself. You shouldn't have to tell someone not to argue with you prior to a fun time, and yes, he physically abused you. Quite frankly, he's an adult, he can take care of himself. Don't be giving him pity party BS. Yes, you need to leave your abusive boyfriend. Girl, please run, and once you do, don't stop and never look back. It can get so much worse, and that's the last thing you need. As much as you love him, care or have an attachment, save yourself first before it's too late. Usually abusers at the start and toward the end are always very apologetic, do not fall for it. And if someone does hit you once, they will definitely hit you again, don't even question that, it shouldn't have happened in the first place. Let it be the last. Yes, he abused you. Yes, he will do it again. The way I just said what the fuck loudly in my living room when I got to the part where he was trapping you in the hotel room and bit your cheek hard. Sweetheart, I'm a 42-year-old woman. You need to make a police report, get photos taken of your injuries, go to the hospital for assault, and get another record of the abuse. Do not be alone with this man, boy. I would ask the police when you're making your report for an order of protection to keep him away from you. I'm sorry this happened to you. Please don't take him back. My 19M boyfriend keeps asking me, 19F, if he was good in bed. I 19F have a boyfriend 19M, and he always asks me if he was good every time we end our sex. 60% of the time we have to stop having sex because he goes soft due to overthinking or the condom snagging on his pubes. Every time we wrap things up though, he always asks if he did good even if we were only at it for 3 minutes and he wasn't fully hard. Icky knows that I'm lying sometimes when it's obviously bad, but he keeps asking anyway. It's like he wants me to say no, but OFC I can't say no because, well duh. And plus it's something he can't really control. What would you say? By the way, no, I am not going to break up with him, and no, I am not going to stop using condoms. Also, do not DM me. Is he open to trimming his public hair? You can sit him down and tell him that you understand his need to be reassured after sex, but you also don't want sex be treated as performance checklist. Maybe you can suggest instead of him keep asking you if he was good, you guys focus more on enjoying each other than rating how long or how hard things went. Another tip from the top of my head. More foreplay, and when he starts to overthink, perhaps you guys can pause, just cuddle. And reset. 2 things. 1. He is insecure. Nothing wrong with that, comfort him. Possible he is worried he is not pleasing you. Sometimes a white lie is okay, but only if you are okay with it and it won't bother you in the future. 2. Ask him to shave if it is an issue. Most of guys don't mind if our partner asks. Most important, don't lie. It doesn't help him or you. You can improve your sex by focusing on things other than PIV. Oral, handjob, toys. Sex doesn't need to end when he goes soft. Focus, both of you, on enjoying yourselves, exploring what you like, not doing great, not even orgasming. Yes, sex can be great even without orgasm sometimes. Ask each other if they enjoyed themselves, what they liked rather than, was I good? If condoms are a problem for him, he could try different sizes, brands, material. And of course if his problem with erection lasts, he should talk to a doctor. Should I straight up tell him to stop asking? 1. Be 98% honest. Avoid answering yes, no, and try telling him what you do and don't like about it. 2. Condom snagging on pubes is wild. Bro, gotta trim a little if the hairs are in the way.